And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Richard Tripp, and welcome to the Halftime Show. And we're joined by a very special guest. Former Highlands University cowgirl B. Gallegos is with us. And B, welcome to the Halftime Show. You know, you played at New Mexico Highlands, former cowgirl, played for Cinder Royal Ball, played on a championship team. Great memories and good times back then for you in Highlands.
Yes, it was. Thank you for having me. It was a blessing. I am formerly from Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Right.
So being able to play at Highlands and stay for my family to see me was an added plus for me because they were at every game, which also, you know, helped me transition from high school to college.
That really must have made it easy, like you say. You know, you played at Robertson High School back in the good days, I guess you could say, of high school. How did you go about choosing Highlands?
Well, it wasn't my first choice. And everybody knew that. Just coming from a small school, you always want to play for a bigger school. Mm-hmm. And being the type of career that I had at Robertson, I believed inside I could go D1, which everybody in my life since I was small told me, you're too small, you won't be able to make it, you have to be at least 5'7" and above. Mm-hmm. And I always told myself, no, I'm better than that. So when I was playing with Coach Jay Quintana and we were, as the years were going by, I was looking more towards, I actually wanted to go towards Arizona. Arizona State was my first choice. But being that the recognition wasn't really there, like, you know, the exposure that the kids get more these days, right, wasn't really there for us. I guess I didn't really know which way to go about it. It wasn't really told to us. I don't think, it never was, I can be honest. And I never got myself out there as much as I should have, even though I was in the papers, but I was only in New Mexico.
Right. You know, even when you look back at that, like you said, wanting to go to Arizona State, right?
Yes.
Wanting to go play for the Sun Devils, perhaps. You know, like you say, you kind of, one of the biggest differences has to be social media today. If you would have had it back then, who knows, right?
Oh, I could have put myself on there. I could have gave myself my own exposure. But, I mean, when I started to get more exposure was one of our good friends, Gary Chavez, mm-hmm. when he started to coach. I played softball with him. So the minute I actually lost Jay Quintana my junior year in high school and got a new coach, that part kind of like slowed things down because I really didn't have anybody and a new coach coming in. You know, I had to get myself out since the summer before the season started. Gary started to do it for me. So he did a video, he put one together, he started to send them out, and he did send it to Arizona State. We went and did a site visit with Pueblo.
CSU Pueblo,
yeah, right? CSU Pueblo. So we went out there. Suzanne Gonzalez, one of my favorite ball players back in the days, she went to school out in Pueblo. So I met the coach. Gary started to show me, you know, a little bit more and taking me to the colleges and having meetings with the coaches, visiting the girls, the teams. And Arizona actually did contact me, Arizona State. The only upside to that was I would have had to walk on. Which I could have, but then I was looking, I come from a middle-class family, I could say. You know, my dad was the only one who worked. My mom took care of us. So the money wouldn't have been there. I don't think I could have afforded to go out there. So then we started to have hearsay, Coach Roy Ball, she doesn't want to play for me. She doesn't want to play for me. You know, she's too good to play for Highlands. So I finally, you know, I was hearing that, and I'm not that type of person to like that. So right. I approached Coach Roy Ball, and I said, no, I've never said I didn't want to come to Highlands. I just was wanting to see what else was out there that maybe I could explore. Right. And so that kind of like shut everything down, and we sat on there, and she was like, well, I want you to play for me. And said, I'll give you the full ride. What do you say? So I took it back home. You know, you just got to pass your ACTs and everything. And I said, talk to my parents. And I started to think being home would be the best thing for me, money-wise. My parents would be able to see me every time. And, you know, the glory of all that is what was the best thing. Gary, talking to Gary, it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I could do this.
And it worked out.
And it worked out. It was actually, I think, the best decision I made.
You know, you look at your days, you know, let's talk about that 91 team, kind of reflect back, because there's a lot we got to get in here. I mean,
Oh,
the 91 team, a member of the H Club as well. Congratulations on
thank
that.
you.
You know, so many special things happen for you at Highlands, but one thing that stands out always at Highlands, there's only 2 banners, women's banners, at the Johnny Wilson complex. One to represent the RMAC regular season champion, the other one representing the RMAC tournament champions. Both won when Cindy Roybal during your era. That must have been pretty special.
Oh, I brag. I don't brag too much about myself, but I brag about those years at Highlands because, and you know, Cindy was a difficult coach, and everybody knows who Cindy Roybal is, but she was also a great. I attribute a lot of my learning, and we bumped heads and everything, but I think it just made me a stronger player overall in the end. That freshman year, we were all New Mexico kids. We were all from Las Vegas. You know, I had me and my friend Sandra had actually been recruited. We had Sherry Willis, who played with me at Robertson, Pam Sandoval from West, and we had girls from Santa Fe. We had local Michelle Adams, Cindy Phillips, Pat Stewart, and Rochelle from Kirtland Central. We had 12 solid girls that played very well together. It was like a sisterhood, you know. I mean, you know, Duke, you know, you hear them, the brotherhood. We were the New Mexico kids came out and beat kids from California, from Nebraska, and we were all doing it with 5'4", me the shortest, 5'7", 5'10". Michelle Adams was one of our tallest. Sherry Willis, our 6'1". I called her SWAT because she was just a SWAT machine, and we were just too fast for everybody. And we dominated with New Mexico kids, and I don't think I have ever seen a Highlands team again that had just all New Mexico kids.
You know, I had the
which is rare.
I had the opportunity to speak to Cindy about a month ago. She's going to appear on one of my other shows, Tripp's Corner, but she was very proud of that. That's one of the things that Cindy did bring to New Mexico Highlands, not knocking or taking any away from what has happened before or since, and it was special because in her eyes and in you looking back, it gave the New Mexico kid that didn't get that opportunity at Arizona State, that opportunity. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was an amazing journey. The fact that we were able to get the 2 championships, we were able to fly to Jacksonville, to Tennessee, and we were able to explore, you know, Memphis. She took us all these places, and then we were able to play in the national tournament, and just to see the competition out there. And we were actually there, all New Mexico kids, you know, and we were like babies at a candy store up there. You know, we were so excited, and just the feeling that we got to that place was a feeling I didn't think I was ever going to feel.
Right.
I think it was even more exciting than going to the pit at a high school game. Not to be honest with you, it was an amazing accomplishment that we accomplished together, and that was just like the final and all of it.
You know,
it was awesome.
You know, and we got about 3 minutes left here, but I want to talk about the H Club. You know, to get into the H Club, it's such a special honor, and you were able to, you know, to be voted in, nominated, name it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
How did you feel about that? What did that mean to you, man?
I finally said finally. You know, I've always been very proud of what I do. Like I told you before, I don't like to brag, but I know what I have accomplished and what I achieved, and I felt what I gave to Highlands was my all. You know, whether it was in points, it was more my whole roundedness of my athletic play, and then I also played softball, so I gave myself a little bit more there too. But when I finally got it, it was finally like the last thing in my career, I guess. I was able to achieve what I have always wanted and what I always felt I was as a player.
You know, I know it was special because I remember talking to the gentleman who gave the induction speech. Gary was, like I said, a very good friend of ours. And he was even telling me, you know, he was emotional for you. You know,
Yes.
that, I mean, that in itself says a lot. You know, just very quick here, we're going to wrap things up, B, but very quickly, what does all this mean to you looking back that journey, as you said? We've got about a minute left.
It's the greatest part of my life. Even today in my teaching, when I'm teaching in front of the kids, I'll throw in memories from my college years, and I tell them, you know, there's opportunities there. Yeah, I grew up at, you know, my size with people telling me you can't. And I said, nope, I worked hard. I was in the gym. I was known as the local gym rat for the longest time. I can't get her out of there, Coach Quintana used to tell me. And I put in the hard work and the achievement, and look where it got me. And it is just all gratification in every which way. You know, I got to meet great people. I got to play, you know, you had April Gomez Ortiz on here. I met her, and, you know, I met Nicole Allman. I met a lot of people that just made my career and my memories that just more wonderful. It's an excellent journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world, my choices.
Arizona State's loss was
Yep.
Mexico Highlands game. So thank you, B, for coming on during our halftime show. Congratulations on a great career, which still, the final chapter has not been written.
No.
Also a pretty good basketball coach at that. I want to thank B for coming on. The second half is coming up next. Thank you, everybody, for watching the halftime show.
Thank you.